racetracks. And with the story, here's Buddy.
Nancy, Jefferson Downs is supposed to open its night race meeting tomorrow night, but there could be problems such as a picket line. Vince Marinello reports.
Apparently, track general manager Marie Krantz and the parimutuel clerks have a difference of opinion. So tonight, Union Local 328 met at St. Christopher's Church off Airline Highway to decide whether or not to take any action against Jefferson Downs. Union leader Roma Bertucci talked about the differences between Miss Krantz and the mutual clerks.
She is telling us that she is offering us a reduction in pay, a considerable reduction in pay, no fringe benefits. She has wiped out all the benefits that we have formerly had. She has cut deeply into our job security. She has taken away extras that we have enjoyed since we've been under contract to this firm. She's talking of running races on Sunday and will not even consider time and a half for our working on Sunday. She's talking of a 10th race. We work on a non-race card. Now she wants us to work a 10th race and no extra pay.
According to Bertucci, the track has trained non-union people to work the mutual windows. So what will the union do?
We'll have our picket lines up there. We'll throw leaflets to all the people coming in. We'll knock on their windows and ask them not to go into the track.
Bertucci expects support from the entire labor movement in the greater New Orleans area. However, as one union member said tonight, the betting public in New Orleans would walk over its mother's grave to get to the betting windows. Vince Marinello, News Center.
With the latest from Kenner.
Jefferson Downs begins his 12th racing season an hour from now, but Wednesday night, nearly 150 parimutuel clerks said the season would start without them. Contract talks between the clerks union and track officials broke off. The clerks saying they'll strike and picket tonight's opening, but Jefferson Downs officials say it will be racing as usual.
Mike, we're going to have all of our mutual machines manned with trained, experienced people. We don't anticipate any problems. All of our other personnel throughout the building will be here and will be working, and we don't really anticipate any problems at all.
The clerks say the issues are better pay and benefits, plus extra money if the track expands to 10 races or Sunday openings. But Krantz says the two sides are only $6 apart, and the track is willing to begin new talks if the clerks union wants them. As for possible picketing during opening night ceremonies, track officials say as long as the clerks are peaceful, they can strike. Inside, though, Jefferson Downs says it will have the windows manned by over 100 experienced non-union clerks. Mike Sanders, News Center 6, Jefferson Downs.
Clerks are still walking.
The picket lines in front of the track were temporarily pulled off this morning by Union President Roma Bertucci after track general manager Marie Krantz said she would not negotiate with pickets out front. Later today, the union brought along its latest proposal, including job security provisions and demands for a $52 a night pay scale, plus a $3 nightly bonus anytime the track's handles surpass the $500,000, which means virtually every night of operation. The track is offered $47.50 a night with no bonus, and Krantz says solving money problems is the first order of any negotiation.
Money. It's more than money. There are some language items which we haven't agreed upon, and but I think the thing that we have to get out of the way first is the money issue. There's no point discussing language issues until we can get the money issue out of the way.
The union claims it has not been hurt by the fact that the machines are being successfully manned by non-union personnel.
If they trained you for those machines, you could run those machines also. I can run them. You do need training. You have to be careful. They're really treacherous. But I say this. We were excellent clerks at Fairgrounds, and we're excellent clerks at Jefferson Downs. And the people in there can run those machines, but they have our jobs, and we want them back. They're our jobs. We've been there since 1960, and we want our jobs back.
Tonight, picket lines went up again after Krantz told Bertucci the newest proposal was totally unacceptable because the union proposal was put forth as a final non-negotiable offer. Bertucci said the situation now is war. Krantz agreed, and the paying customers are betting on horses, but not on the prospects of a settlement in the near future.
Discourage people from attending the track, apparently with little success. The picketers are the people who usually accept bets at the track.
Since Thursday, more than 100 parimutuel clerks at Jefferson Downs have been walking picket lines while replacements man their windows. They walked off the job in a dispute over job security and pay. The track has said it's willing to pay the clerks $47.50 a day. Today, in the latest union proposal, the clerks demanded $52 a day. And once again, the track manager, Marie Krantz, said no way.
Yes, the offer is unacceptable.
What happens now?
Well, now we just have to picket. We have to call on the whole labor movement in the Louisiana and especially in the greater New Orleans area.
Betting and attendance was reportedly down the first day of the strike, but management says it has been normal ever since, claiming the strikes had very little impact on track activities. But the union insists it will not give up yet.
They have other clerks in there, and they probably can work those windows. We're not saying that, but they have our jobs. Those have been our jobs since 1960, and we will fight to get those jobs back. They belong to us.
Both union and management say the answer lies in further bargaining, but each says the other obviously isn't in a mood to bargain.
The union says only 2 of its members have crossed the picket line. The track says quite a few of the strikers have returned to work.
By its pari-mutuel clerks, and despite the strike, big crowds were there for opening night at the races. And so was News Center 6 reporter Willard Shepard.
Alec, the union members decided to strike on Wednesday, and tonight they were out on the picket lines. The picketers were out in front of the track and slowed traffic down somewhat. Union members say they want at least $52 per night. Management has offered $57.40. Union members also say management is trying to break up the union.
And all of a sudden, in the last 3 years or so, she's just kind of begrudged the union people. She just didn't want to hire any union people at all. Maybe 1, 2 at the most.
We have not had any communication with the union. If our door is open, if they would like to resume, if they'd like to talk with us and discuss a reasonable rate of base pay with us, we'd be happy to talk with them again.
Some of the union people say that you would rather not have the union here.
Well, that just isn't so. We wouldn't have been negotiating all this time with them if we felt that way.
Krantz says both union and non-union clerks showed up to take bets tonight. She said there were no problems at the windows and that a crowd of about 7,000 showed up. There was a meeting between the union members tonight about 9:30, and we have just been told that they have decided to stay out on strike. So that's the situation.
Thank you very much. Clerks, Jeff Downs served more than 6,000 customers last night, despite the strike. That's just about what the count was last year. Track officials
The lines at the betting boxes did move more slowly.
Due in part, though, to a new betting system. But the track has replaced all the strikers and considers them tonight fired. Officials plan to continue business as normal.
Well, what we did, Ann, was we replaced those people who did not show up for work last night. And they were notified beforehand that we wanted all of our people at work last night, and those who did not come in were replaced. Insofar as the union, we have not had any contact with them, have not heard from them, so I don't know, what they're thinking about them, what they have in mind.
Meanwhile, some 115 pari-mutuel clerks continue their strike against the track.
Voted to strike on Wednesday, and the members were out on the picket line again tonight. The picket lines were set up in front of the track on Sunset Boulevard, but it now appears that the picket line will not be up tomorrow. A phone conversation took place this evening between Union President Roma Bertucci and the track's General Manager Marie Krantz.
I simply told her that we would consider resuming negotiations, but not while the strike is going on. As long as there are strikers out there, we would not consider it, and that if they abandon the strike and then present us with a new proposal, or present us with a proposal, we'll be glad to take a look at it and consider it.
So now I will present a new proposal in the morning. I hope to hand deliver it about 9 a.m. I will call off the pickets at 9 a.m. and I will call a moratorium until 6. I will give her the bottom line that the union can take.
Krantz said late tonight that she would have to examine the union offer before she can officially comment. The two sides differ on money. The union wants $52 per night. Management is offering $47.50, and seniority is also an issue. So now we will have to wait until tomorrow to see what happens.
Meanwhile, again tonight, big crowds at the track.
The crowds were good for this time of season. Not as big as last night, but a good crowd.
Thank you very much.
It had little or no effect on the handle and attendance. Vince Marinello has that story.
The striking pari-mutuel clerks continue to walk the picket line at Jefferson Downs. Thus far, after nearly 1 month, both attendance and betting are on the increase at the track. The strikers have not heard at all. Did the union make a mistake in walking out?
No, not at all. The ultimatums we were given by Jefferson Downs we couldn't live with. She asked us to take a reduction in pay. She took away all our job securities. She asked for half of our jobs to make them management jobs. And she gave me ultimatums like no bonus, nothing for an extra race, nothing for Sunday racing in the way of overtime, just no benefits at all.
Bertucci charges that Jefferson Downs General Manager Marie Krantz is trying to break the union.
That's ridiculous. We negotiated with them for 4 months. If we had no intentions of negotiating in good faith, or if we were trying to break the union, we never would have negotiated in the first place. There was nothing that required us to negotiate that very first meeting. And we negotiated for over 4 months with them.
Bertucci also charges that Krantz simply isn't bargaining in good faith.
Well, that just isn't true. I haven't told the media that negotiations are going on. What I said was we did not fire those people out there who are striking, that they are still our employees. She was the one, the union was the one who cut off negotiations because back 3 weeks ago they gave us a take it or leave it proposition. And we didn't accept their proposition.
While the war of words continues, it's business as usual at Jefferson Downs. Vince Marinello, Sports Center 6.
The race in question took place on Friday, April 30th, the 6th race on the card. Jefferson Downs has refused Channel 6's request for a tape of the race. Vince Marinello has a report, and I'll have some commentary after the report.
You're watching the 7th race at Louisiana Downs, May 13th, a 6-furlong affair. Included in the field are Sugar Dome, the eventual winner, and Power Prince, who will finish second. Together, they will return an exact of $128. Sugar Dome will come in at odds of better than 8-1. 2 weeks earlier, April 30th at Jefferson Downs, Sugar Dome racing at odds of 3.5-1, and Power Prince at 4-1 finished 4th and 5th respectively. Power Prince, a genuine speed horse who had been on or near the lead in 7 of his most recent 8 starts, was conspicuously far back in the pack in the early going. He would finish 5th, beaten 13.5 lengths. The racing form chart would later read, quote, Power Prince was not asked to run until too late, unquote. Sugar Dome will finish 4th, beaten 9.5 lengths. The official chart on him would read, quote, hard held early and set down too late to threaten, unquote. Suspicions were raised about the Jefferson Downs race. Was it run on the up and up?
When I saw these 2 horses finish 1st and 2nd at Louisiana Downs, I then looked at the race that they'd run in here, and I was concerned about it because, of course, I wanted to know how they'd run here, but I couldn't find anything in the film.
State steward Benny Raven, he also viewed the race tape.
Power Prince and Sugar Dome, I believe. We did check into that race, and we can't find the riders at any fault or fault them anyway in their performance, or each of them on those horses in that particular race.
Was the J.D. race on the legit? Apparently it has raised suspicions, but as some racetrack people say, chances are no one will ever really know, not even the shadow. Vince Marinello, Sports Center 6.
WDSU-TV was alerted to strange goings-on in the 6th race at Jefferson Downs by a source who, prior to the race, witnessed one of the stable connections of one of the horses in question making a heavy bet against his horse in the race. Bruce Zagnit, the columnist and chart caller for the daily racing form at Jefferson Downs, was then alerted to the possibility of something being up in the race. After witnessing the running of the race, in which both Sugar Dome, ridden by Larry Munster, and Power Prince, ridden by Kenny Acosta, ran out of the money and were never in contention, Zagnit wrote in the footnote for the daily racing form, Sugar Dome was hard-held early and set down too late to threaten. Power Prince was not asked for run until too late. For the unknowledgeable, this is the type of notation the daily racing form makes when the chart caller believes the jockeys purposely held back their horses or did not have an honest effort to win. In my opinion, it is business as usual in Louisiana racing. When Governor Train swept out the State Racing Commission headed by Albert Stahl, promises were made of widespread cleanup of racing game under the new commission appointed by Governor Train. From where I sit, the new commission, presently under the chairmanship of W. Ray Vanderheyer, has failed to even reach the low level of performance by the previous commission. The stewards at Jefferson Downs and at many spots in Louisiana racing have repeatedly failed to do their job of supervising the conduct of jockeys and trainers. And I think they'll continue to fail the public until forced into action by the Racing Commission or by the governor of the state. Until that is forthcoming, the cheaters know the territory, and it will be business as usual in Louisiana racing.
And the torch was handed to the Lakefront Turf Club, which is nothing more, though, than a name change. Most of the same horses are there. Marie Krantz is the general manager for both meets. Traditionally, the Lakefront Turf Club's handle is lower than Jefferson Downs, but this year it's running nearly even. Last day of the meet is November the 11th. The biggest single contributor to increased business?
Greg, I think better horses. We have the best horses racing here that's ever raced before, and the reason for that is that we're paying better purses. By the time the Lakefront meeting is over, we will have paid over $4 million out in purses, which is a nice chunk of money.
Meanwhile, across town, did its meet a few weeks ago. The torch was handed to the Lakefront Turf Club, but it's really nothing more than just a name change. Marie Krantz is the general manager for both meets, and most of the same horses compete. The field this year at Jefferson is showing more and better Louisiana breds than ever before. That's a tribute to the Louisiana breeders and good for the track, too. Better horses mean more action.
We see a marked improvement over what has raced here in the past, and I checked with Buddy Abity. He and I work very closely together because of his affiliation with the Louisiana Thoroughbred Breeders Association, and the young stock that's coming up is really good, and I think we have a lot to look forward to in Louisiana breds.
Downs the other night got what they wanted, even though the wrong horse won the race. Joker's Wish never even ran.
Round the turn, they drive to the head of the stretch and Sink lead the leader by 5. On the outside, Trina Lynn is next.
This was the fourth race at Jefferson Downs last Thursday. The winner would come from back in the pack and would pay $360, $280, and $280.
That's Joker's Wish with your vote towards the round.
The number 8 horse was supposed to be Joker's Wish, but in fact, the winner was Morning Call Miss. The state veterinarian discovered the wrong horse ran when he checked the ID number tattooed on the horse's lip. Jefferson Downs says it was just an innocent mistake.
It was a case of just a mix-up. It seems that these two horses were bought out of the same sale. They were taken to the same farm, and the owners themselves had the horses mixed up when they were taken to the farm. Each owner thought the other horse was his horse.
Krantz says the identifier, the man charged with making sure the right horses run, should have caught the mix-up, but didn't. Actually, it was the second time in 9 days he had missed it. The first time, Joker's Wish ran under the name Morning Call Miss and lost.
How can you be sure there wasn't any effort to deceive the bettors here?
Because there was nothing to be gained by switching those two horses. They were both non-starters, first-time starters. And one, there was nothing unusual about the price or anything like that. There was nothing to be gained.
As for the bettors at the track last Thursday, the fourth race is history.
Once that race is official, once that race is made official, that's it. There's no comeback at all.
Even though it was the wrong horse?
Yes, even though it was wrong horse.
Krantz says the track has already redoubled efforts to ensure it won't happen again. The State Racing Commission is investigating.
New Orleans' 5 most powerful women featured on News Center 6 were honored tonight by the New Orleans Symphony. Before the New Orleans Symphony performed Haydn's Concerto for Trumpet and Orchestra in E-flat major, the symphony honored the 5 most powerful women in New Orleans. Congresswoman Lindy Boggs, Jefferson Downs Racetrack President Marie Krantz, Orleans Parish School Board President Rose Loving, community and civic leader Mickey Easterling, and Times-Picayune political columnist Iris Kelso, who was unable to attend the ceremonies due to illness. Tonight's presentation by the symphony saluted the women. Each had been profiled in a special News Center 6 series of reports written and produced by News Center 6 political reporter Clancy Dubose. The selection process included extensive research and interviews with political figures throughout the state. And tonight's special symphony ceremony was also a salute to TV6 for recognizing these 5 outstanding citizens who have enriched our community through service and love.
I bet they had one. Good morning.
How are you?
How you doing?
Good.
She is Marie Krantz, general manager and part owner of Jefferson Downs Racetrack, and one of the most respected and feared political power brokers in the state. She is the only woman board member of the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry's Political Action Committee. She keeps close tabs on local and state politics and politicians. She is a close friend of Jefferson Parish Councilman Larry Hooper. Another councilman, Willie Hoff, works for her as operations director at the track. For Marie Krantz, sports and politics come under the same general heading of business. She works hard at both, and by most accounts, she rules her turf absolutely. Krantz worked her way up at the track, starting part-time while in college. Her power comes from her influence over track employees and players. She directly employs more than 300 people and indirectly provides a base of employment for hundreds more, from cashiers and waiters to jockeys and trainers. And when Krantz decides to back a candidate, she puts everything and everybody behind her endorsement, sending up to 1,000 people into the streets. Marie, what's your definition of power?
I guess I would have to say power is influence.
In that sense, then, do you consider yourself a powerful or influential person?
Well, Clancy, if I have any influence, it's because I have a reputation in the community for standing up for what I believe in.
Why do you get so involved in politics?
The reason I do it, I enjoy it, and it's good for my business.
When you support a candidate for office, what do you do for them?
If I believe in a candidate, then I'm going to do everything I can to help that candidate. And I have a lot of friends and a lot of acquaintances, a lot of people around me who listen to what I have to say, and then they get involved with me. So we pretty much go out of the street and we work for that candidate every way we can.
So your endorsement is pretty significant then?
Well, a lot of the people I've supported have won.